Hello and welcome to the 7th section of the Web Development with AngularJS 2.0 and Bootstrap. In this section, we are going to cover Angular 2 services and dependency injection. Components are great and all, but what do we do with data or logic that is not associated with a specific view, or that we want to share across components? Let's explore more on dependency injection pattern in software development. In the first video, we will understand the dependency injection and inversion of control patterns in software development. This software pattern helps us to achieve loose coupling in complex systems, where we will be injecting data separately, which helps us to isolate and get loosely coupled systems. Let's start our journey. First, let's understand inversion of control and DI. Angular 2 provides dependency injection, same as Angular 1.x. This is the biggest feature and selling point of Angular 2.0. It allows us to inject dependencies in different components across our applications without needing to know how these dependencies are created. Inversion of control. This is a generic term and implemented in several ways: events and delegates. Dependency injection. DI is a subtype of IOC and is implemented by constructor injection, setter injection, or method injection. In Angular 2, DI will happen using constructors. Now, one thing is clear, that we are doing DI to inject data and achieve loosely coupled systems. Angular 2.0 services are common modules required by Angular 2 components. In this module, we create a service and use dependency injection to inject that service into any component that needs it. Applications often require services, such as a product data service or a logging service. Our components depend on these services to do the heavy lifting. In Angular 2.0, to implement functionality that is independent from any particular component, to share data or logic across components, or encapsulate external interactions, such as data access, can be done by shifting these responsibilities from the component to a service. The benefit of doing this, it is easier to test, debug, and reuse as its independent E6 class. In this module, we start with an overview of how services and dependency injection work in Angular. Once we have a good understanding, we will create a service register of that service and examine how to use the service inside a component. So here, this is a parent component, and we have some subcomponents, and the logger and a data service are the isolated components which are injecting the data inside the component tree. The preceding code is a contrived class that represents a hamburger. The class assumes that a hamburger consists of a bun, patty, and toppings. The class is also responsible for making the bun, patty, and toppings. This is a bad thing. So here we have a problem. What if a vegetarian burger was needed? Let's modify it to the next level. There, the problem is solved, right? But what if we need a gluten-free hamburger? What if we want different toppings? Maybe something more generic-like. We need to simplify this code further and make this code more independent from this class. Okay, this is a little different, and it's more flexible in some ways, but it's still quite brittle. What if the patty constructor changed to allow new features? The whole hamburger class would have to be updated. In fact, anytime any of these constructors used in hamburger's constructor are changed, hamburger would also have to be changed. Now, when hamburger is instantiated, it does not need to know anything about its bun, patty, or toppings. The construction of these elements has been moved out of the class, and it's better than our previous code. The hamburger class is now simpler and easier to test. The model of having these dependencies provided to hamburger is the basic dependency injection. This is how we can achieve DI using constructor, where we need not to be fully dependent on another module. In the next video, we'll talk about injectors and providers, with some injectors such as annotation inject and annotation injectable.